going on, world? We are here with Miss Wendy Colonna today. She is a singer, songwriter, yoga instructor, and a journalist hailing from Lake Charles, Louisiana, now residing in Austin, Texas. How's it going?
Oh man, it's been a great day.
Thanks.
So it's great, going great.
So
This is my friend Lincoln. He just came to visit.
Say hi.
Say hi! Hey buddies!
So right now you're currently on and off the road, right? You're touring?
I am off the road until June 11th, and then I will be on the road for 3.5 months, back briefly, probably just to release the record around Texas and then hit the road again. So
Okay.
crazy traveling up ahead.
Gotcha. Right. When you hear the word bourrée, what comes to mind?
Bourrée! I've played some bourrée at the hunting camp down the duck hunting camp when we were kids. That was what they did with us. I'm sure they did other things. I'm sure they were drinking beer, but we were just playing bourrée and probably drinking strawberry Welch's.
Right, let's go back to 2010 when you had your medical incident. After that date, how has your outlook on life changed?
Well, you know, I was sick on the road for 8 straight months. I had a lung infection, and then my immune system got a little bit actually very compromised. And, but we were traveling. We were traveling. We were in Europe, we were in the East, we were West, we were in the mountains, we were everywhere. And I didn't have any time to recuperate, and my health just got worse and worse. But you know, I think it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it taught me the most about surrendering and letting go of expectations and what success is supposed to look like. And I really got real clear about what, you know, authentic success and you know, happiness. Like, happiness is something that happens outside of you, and joy is something that happens from inside of you. And I think I really got connected with joy. Joy, Lincoln.
Amazing.
Smile, little man.
So playful.
Yeah, like joy. Joy was something that I think I didn't understand until I started getting better and just taking life one day at a time, and not, you know, setting some goal so far in the future that I couldn't be happy between right now and then. Like, every moment is precious, and God, it's been so wonderful to recover from that and to be able to love people differently, to be able to serve differently, to be able to have a lot of humility about, you know, when I hit a wall, I go, well, okay, I'm hitting the wall. And like, instead, I would have tried to push through it when I was younger.
Let's talk about yoga. I mean, so you're a yoga instructor. When did this all come about?
Well, I fell in love with yoga at the boxing gym.
Boxing gym?
Yeah, I was doing this type of yoga that's incredibly strenuous called Ashtanga yoga as a cool down from my boxing workouts. And I thought, I love this stuff, this is so cool. And then I ended up really getting crazy about it. And it was probably in 2003 or so, when 10 years ago, started practicing yoga, and then fell in love with it. Went to teacher training school a couple of years later. And I mean, I just think yoga is like the best possible sort of filter to see life through. It's, for me, it's amazing, because it's all about showing up and doing like the same basic postures over and over again, and having a different relationship with them every time.
Let's talk about your new record. Can you release the name or disclose it yet, or is that still confidential still?
We're actually still trying to let the name come out. We haven't picked a name yet. We have a lot of really strong songs, and I'm not sure if the name of this one is going to be one of the song titles, or if it's going to just be sort of something that is an emergent, you know, title. But it's beautiful, and there's a lot of names that I've thrown around. And a lot of these tunes are songs that came out of being humbled by, you know, not having everything turned out so picture perfect on my last tour of getting sick and being, you know, really connecting with the humanity of it all. I think that a lot of this record is about being human and being okay with it.
That's awesome.
Not in some kind of, you know, unicorn and rainbow sort of way, but in just like a way where you can find beauty in the scars.
All right, so on your new record, I'm sure you're going to collaborate with a few artists. And a while back, you talked about collaborating with Tamika Jones and Courtney Sanchez. Is that still going to happen?
I'm pretty sure that at least one of them is going to be singing on the record. I checked in with Tamika yesterday, and I think we've got some sweet tracks for her to you know, do her magic with. And I haven't talked to Courtney yet about it, but we have some plans in the making.
Okay, Wendy, from reading your bio, this is what I got. You seem to be kind of a spiritual person. And I'm kind of curious, like, were you raised religious and then went to spiritual? Did you find the spiritual thing? Like, I'm really, really intrigued by it.
Well, I've had a lot of relationships with that. When I was a kid, my parents didn't force me into any religion, but I ended up at an Episcopal school singing in an Episcopal church choir. Great experience, wonderful children's choir. Awesome first, you know, I was always singing, and I was young, I was like 6 or 7 or whatever, you know. So I'd spent a lot of time in the Episcopal church as a kid because that's where I was, you know, getting my sing on. But, you know, went to Catholic middle school, also sang in the choir there, but wasn't a part of the church. Then in high school, I sang in the choir, and I started learning how to play guitar, and I played piano as a kid. And, well, you know, come the age of enlightenment, what is that, 11? You know everything by 11, right? Okay, just checking. Well, you know, I was pretty much some kind of agnostic for a little while, and then I was completely atheist because in college we studied Western civilization from like sort of like the beginning of Western civilization. And we studied it through literature, through history, through philosophers, lawmakers, architecture, and it was this long, beautiful course where we studied the Western civilization. And oh, what is the biggest part of Western civilization for the first, you know, 3/4 is whatever the church was doing, and of course the church is, you know, doing all kinds of things.
Let's talk about testimonials. Have there been any fans on the road or in your musical career that's came up to you and just grabbed you and said something to you that really just took your breath away?
You know, whatever trials and tribulations, like there's something about what I put out that was healing or cathartic or at least some kind of way of venting, and then I was just like, okay, well, and it happens all the time actually. I mean, just whenever I start getting jaded or discouraged, I get a message, or I get a, you know, Facebook, or I hear something at a show from somebody who I don't know or never met before, and they just tell me something, and I'm just like, wow, cool. I'm so glad that the tunes, because I don't believe that songs are mine. Like, they come, I have tried to create a way of sort of helping them out. I mean, and then they become yours. You know, the story that I'm telling, the way that I'm informing the song, the inspiration, you know, coloring the inspiration with my experience is not going to be your experience. And so therefore, you know, it's not really my song. It has a life of its own. It does its own thing. It's got its own personality. And when I hear that they're doing well out there in other people's hearts, it's just, you know, it's worth it. It's worth all the ickiness.
Awesome.